What if I told you that one pharaoh's reign built Egypt's golden age, laying the foundation for a religious revolution that would shake the entire kingdom? Welcome to the world of Pharaoh AmenHotep III, where power, diplomacy, and mystery collide. Reigning from around 1386 to 1349 BCE, AmenHotep III is often celebrated as one of the most powerful and influential pharaohs in Egyptian history. His reign marked a golden age of prosperity, artistic achievement, and diplomatic relations that set the stage for the future of the new kingdom. AmenHotep III's significance cannot be overstated. He was not only a master builder, commissioning grand temples and monuments that showcased the might of Egypt, but he also fostered a flourishing culture that embraced art, literature, and innovation. His reign saw the construction of the magnificent Colossi of Memnon and the stunning temple complex at Luxor, which still captivate visitors today. Through these monumental projects, AmenHotep III left an indelible mark on the landscape of ancient Egypt, symbolizing the wealth and power of his rule. In this video, we aim to engage you with the fascinating story of AmenHotep III's achievements and legacy. You can expect to learn about his diplomatic strategies, including marriages to foreign princesses that strengthened alliances, and how these relationships contributed to a period of unprecedented peace and stability. We will also delve into the artistic advancements of his time, highlighting how the pharaoh's patronage of the arts led to some of the most exquisite works of ancient Egyptian craftsmanship. Join us as we uncover the life and times of AmenHotep III, exploring how his reign not only shaped the ancient world, but also continues to influence our understanding of leadership, culture, and legacy today. Whether you're a history buff or just curious about ancient civilizations, this journey promises to be both informative and captivating. To fully appreciate the majestic reign of Pharaoh AmenHotep III, it's essential to understand the historical context that preceded his rule. The period leading up to his ascension was marked by significant political and social changes that laid the groundwork for the prosperity of the 18th dynasty. Before AmenHotep III took the throne, Egypt was experiencing a time of relative stability following the tumultuous end of the Second Intermediate Period. The reunification of Egypt under the rule of the 18th dynasty brought a renewed sense of national identity and strength. Pharaohs like Ahmose III, who expelled the Hyksos, and his successors, including Thutmose I and Thutmose III, established a powerful empire that expanded Egypt's borders and influence. This era was characterized by military conquests, which not only secured resources but also enhanced Egypt's prestige among neighboring nations. Socially, the 18th dynasty saw a flourishing of culture and the arts, with advancements in architecture, sculpture, and literature. The establishment of a centralized government allowed for more efficient administration and resource allocation, which contributed to the overall prosperity of the nation. The wealth generated from trade and tribute further enriched the royal court, setting the stage for AmenHotep III's opulent reign. Key events, such as the military campaigns of Thutmose III and the diplomatic marriages that followed, played a crucial role in shaping the political landscape. These alliances would later influence AmenHotep III's own diplomatic strategies as he sought to maintain peace and stability through marriage and trade. Understanding this historical context is vital for appreciating AmenHotep III's reign. His ability to build upon the foundations laid by his predecessors allowed him to usher in an era of unprecedented artistic and cultural achievement. By recognizing the political and social climate of Egypt before his rule, we can better grasp the significance of his contributions and the lasting legacy he left behind. But what made AmenHotep III's reign stand out, even among these powerful predecessors? The answer lies in his unprecedented influence and strategic diplomacy. Let's take a closer look. Pharaoh AmenHotep III's reign is often regarded as a high point in ancient Egyptian history, but what if his most famous achievements were just the beginning? Behind the grand temples and diplomatic ties, something far more transformative was brewing, something that would forever change Egypt. One of his most notable contributions was in the realm of architecture. AmenHotep III commissioned the construction of grand temples and monuments that showcase the power and wealth of Egypt. Among his most famous projects are the magnificent Temple of Luxor and the vast mortuary temple at Memnon, which featured colossal statues that still stand as testaments to his grandeur. These structures not only served religious purposes, but also reinforced the pharaoh's divine status and authority. In addition to his architectural feats, AmenHotep III was also a master of diplomacy. His reign is immortalized in the famous Amarna letters, a collection of clay tablets that reveal detailed correspondence between Egypt and the rulers of neighboring regions, including Babylon, Assyria, and Mitanni. These letters provide unique insight into the way AmenHotep III maintained peace and influenced international relations, often without the need for military conflict. These letters weren't just historical records, they reveal a side of Amenhotep III that few rulers possessed, a diplomat who influenced the entire region without ever raising a sword. He formed alliances through gifts, diplomatic marriages, and the exchange of luxury items such as gold and exotic animals, which solidified Egypt's position as a wealthy and powerful state. This approach to diplomacy allowed Egypt to thrive during a time of unprecedented stability. The Amarna letters are a window into how the pharaoh balanced both power and diplomacy, with a level of finesse rarely seen in ancient history. His ability to foster relationships through correspondence and exchange, rather than conquest, is one of the defining aspects of his reign, ensuring that Egypt's wealth and influence extended far beyond its borders. In addition to his diplomatic efforts, Amenhotep III presided over a flourishing of art and culture. His reign saw the emergence of a distinctive artistic style, characterized by realism and intricate detail. Skilled artisans produced exquisite jewelry, pottery, and sculptures, many of which depicted the pharaoh himself in various forms of grandeur. The famous Amarna style of art, which would later develop under his son Akhenaten, can trace its roots back to the innovations of Amenhotep III's time. This cultural renaissance enriched Egyptian society and left a legacy that influenced generations of artists. But while Amenhotep III was cementing Egypt's status as a world power, his legacy would face a challenge from within his own family, a shift that would turn Egypt's religious traditions upside down. Stay with us as we uncover the brewing storm of religious change. Imagine a time when art and religion weren't just expressions of culture, but a demonstration of absolute power. In the golden age of Amenhotep III, every sculpture, every painting, and every temple was designed to show one thing: the divine power of the pharaoh. But beneath the surface of Egypt's flourishing culture, something was happening, something that would one day cause a religious revolution, and it all started with Amenhotep's devotion to Amun. Stay with us, and we'll uncover how the seeds of change were planted during his reign. The reign of Pharaoh Amenhotep III was a transformative period for ancient Egyptian culture, leaving a profound impact on art, literature, and religion. His rule is often seen as a cultural zenith, where the convergence of wealth, stability, and artistic innovation flourished. This era marked a significant evolution in artistic expression, characterized by a shift towards realism and intricate detail in sculpture and painting. Artists began to depict not only the divine, but also the everyday lives of people, creating a more relatable and humanized portrayal of Egyptian society. But what if I told you that one of Amenhotep III's grandest achievements wasn't just about art or wealth? It was about a single god who would soon reshape Egypt's entire religious landscape. Stick with us, and we'll explore how his devotion to Amun set the stage for one of the most radical religious revolutions in history. One of the most notable aspects of Amenhotep III's reign was the elevation of the god Amun to a position of supreme prominence. Amun, previously a significant deity in Egyptian mythology, became the centerpiece of religious worship under Amenhotep III. The pharaoh's devotion to Amun was reflected in his building projects, particularly the expansion of the Karnak temple complex, which became one of the largest and most important religious sites in ancient Egypt. This temple was dedicated to Amun, and Amenhotep III commissioned numerous additions to its structure, including massive statues, reliefs, and obelisks that honored the god's power and influence. But was this devotion to Amun truly a symbol of faith? Or was it a calculated move to consolidate power? And how did this set the stage for Akhenaten's radical revolution? The elevation of Amun was not only a religious decision, but also a political one. By associating himself closely with Amun, Amenhotep III reinforced his own divine right to rule. The pharaoh was often depicted in art as the earthly embodiment of Amun, which helped solidify his position as a god-king. This religious political strategy allowed Amenhotep III to maintain strong control over both the state and the priesthood, ensuring that his reign remained stable and prosperous. But here's where things get interesting. By elevating Amun, Amenhotep III unknowingly paved the way for one of the most controversial pharaohs in Egyptian history, his own son, Akhenaten. And what Akhenaten did next would forever change Egypt's religious landscape. We'll get to that shortly. This focus on Amun also set the stage for later religious shifts. Amenhotep III's son, Akhenaten, would later attempt to radically change Egypt's religious landscape by promoting the worship of Aten, a move that many historians believe was influenced by the centralization of power around Amun during Amenhotep III's rule. What drove Akhenaten to break away from his father's legacy and usher in one of Egypt's most dramatic revolutions? You'll find out soon, but first, let's look at the artistic revolution that defined Amenhotep III's era. What does a pharaoh from over 3,000 years ago have in common with modern leaders? More than you might think. The legacy of Amenhotep III isn't just etched in stone. It set the standard for power and influence, and even today the world still feels the ripples of his reign. But here's the real question. How did his legacy help shape one of Egypt's most mysterious and controversial pharaohs? Stick with us as we reveal the surprising connections between Amenhotep III and his son, Akhenaten. Pharaoh Amenhotep III's reign left an indelible mark on ancient Egypt, setting the stage for subsequent pharaohs and shaping the trajectory of the civilization for generations to come. His achievements in architecture, art, and diplomacy established a standard of excellence that later rulers aspired to emulate. The stability and prosperity he fostered allowed his successors, including Akhenaten and Tutankhamun, to build upon his legacy, albeit with their unique interpretations and innovations. The monumental structures and artistic styles initiated during his reign continued to influence the design and aesthetics of later periods, creating a continuity that defined the new kingdom. But while Amenhotep III's reign was a golden age, his son Akhenaten would take Egypt down a completely different path, a path that nearly tore the kingdom apart. So, how did Amenhotep's influence drive his son to such radical ideas? You're about to find out. The admiration for Amenhotep III's accomplishments persisted long after his death. Later pharaohs and dynasties revered him as a model of effective leadership and cultural patronage. His monumental temples and statues became symbols of power and divine favor, often referenced in inscriptions and royal propaganda. Even during the decline of the new kingdom, his legacy was invoked to legitimize the rule of later kings, demonstrating the enduring respect for his contributions to Egyptian civilization. But despite this admiration, his son would not follow in his footsteps. Instead, Akhenaten would challenge the very gods Amenhotep worshipped, forever changing Egypt's destiny. And even though Amenhotep III's reign was filled with peace and prosperity, his death would usher in an era of religious upheaval, led by his son, Akhenaten. What exactly drove Akhenaten to break away from his father's divine legacy? You won't want to miss what comes next. In modern times, Amenhotep III's legacy is reflected in the way we interpret and understand ancient Egypt. Archaeological discoveries, such as the remnants of his grand temples and the exquisite artifacts from his era, continue to captivate historians and enthusiasts alike. His reign is often highlighted in documentaries, exhibitions, and scholarly works that explore the richness of ancient Egyptian culture. The fascination with his life and achievements has also inspired artistic representations in literature and film, further embedding his legacy in contemporary culture. Amenhotep III's reign was one of unmatched prosperity, but his legacy didn't end with his death. His son, Akhenaten, would take Egypt in a completely different direction, one that almost shattered the kingdom. If you're fascinated by the dramatic shifts in Egyptian history, you won't want to miss our next deep dive into Akhenaten's reign. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out. In this exploration of Pharaoh Amenhotep III, we have delved into the remarkable achievements and cultural impacts that defined his reign. From his monumental architectural projects, such as the grand temples at Luxor and the Colossi of Memnon, to the flourishing of art and literature, Amenhotep III's contributions were pivotal in shaping ancient Egyptian civilization. His reign marked a golden age, characterized by stability, prosperity, and a vibrant cultural scene that influenced not only his immediate successors, but also generations to come. What did you think was the most fascinating part of Amenhotep III's reign? Was it his diplomacy, his devotion to Amun, or his incredible architectural achievements? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to share this video with your friends who love ancient history. Did Amenhotep III's devotion to Amun lay the foundation for Akhenaten's religious revolution? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to see how the story unfolds. We also examined the significant role of the royal court in promoting artistic expression and intellectual pursuits, which led to a rich tapestry of cultural advancements. The diplomatic strategies employed by Amenhotep III, including strategic marriages that strengthened Egypt's political alliances, further solidified his legacy as a master statesman. Understanding these facets of his reign is crucial for appreciating the complexities of ancient history and the ways in which Amenhotep III set the stage for future pharaohs. But what happened next was something that no one saw coming. Akhenaten, Amenhotep's son, would soon take the throne and lead Egypt through one of its most radical transformations, a religious revolution that would change everything. To learn more about the rise and fall of Akhenaten, subscribe now and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter of this epic story. As we conclude our journey through the life and times of Amenhotep III, it's clear that his legacy continues to resonate today. His achievements are not only celebrated in historical texts, but also reflected in modern interpretations of ancient Egypt, inspiring curiosity and admiration among scholars and enthusiasts alike. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of Pharaoh AmenHotep III, be sure to like this video, share it with friends, and subscribe for more engaging content on ancient history. Your support helps us continue bringing you these epic stories from the past.